There's a small habit that slips into most days without much thought. A handful of nuts while working, driving, or watching a game. They're bite-sized, crunchy, and easy to overdo. What many men don't realize is that some nut choices and the way those nuts are prepared can meaningfully influence urinary comfort, nighttime sleep, and long-term prostate well-being. Today, I'll walk you through two simple lists. 4 nut pitfalls that can aggravate symptoms when you have benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, and 4 evidence-informed options that can help support a calmer, healthier urinary tract. We'll pair that with practical serving sizes, smart shopping tips, and realistic swaps you can start immediately. As always, this is educational information, not a diagnosis or a treatment plan, and your situation may be different. Speak with your healthcare professional, especially if you take medications like blood thinners, manage diabetes, or have kidney disease, before making significant diet changes. Let's begin with why this matters at all. BPH is a common age-related enlargement of the prostate gland. The gland sits just below the bladder and wraps around the urethra, the tube that carries urine out of the body.
Enjoy in moderation.
As the tissue enlarges and local inflammation fluctuates, the flow channel can narrow and bladder signals can become hypersensitive. That shows up as frequent urination, urgency, a weak stream, incomplete emptying, and waking at night to urinate, symptoms that can drain energy and disturb sleep. While no single food causes BPH, diet patterns influence systemic inflammation, body weight, blood pressure, blood sugar control, and bladder irritability. Nuts are dense in calories and fats, which can be beneficial in the right format and portion, but certain preparations, especially heavy salt, sugar coatings, and cheap added oils, stack the deck against comfort. Understanding the difference is the first step. Pitfall number 1 is the salted peanut or any heavily salted nut. Sodium doesn't enlarge the prostate, but it does shift fluid balance and can raise blood pressure in salt-sensitive individuals, which in turn can increase urine production and worsen nocturia, the need to get up at night. Salt is also a bladder irritant for many people. The tricky part is that canned or bagged nuts often hide more sodium than you expect. A single ounce of salted peanuts can deliver hundreds of milligrams of sodium. 2 or 3 casual handfuls while watching a game can exceed what your bladder tolerates comfortably. The fix is simple. Choose unsalted, dry roasted nuts and measure out a single ounce before you start. Roughly a small handful, not a bowl. If you find unsalted nuts bland at first, mix them half and half with salted versions and gradually wean the salt down over a couple of weeks. Your taste buds adapt. Pitfall number 2 is candied, honey roasted, or caramelized nuts. The sweet, glossy almonds or pecans that smell amazing in a mall or fairground.
Personalize with your
Once nuts
healthcare
are coated in
professional.
sugar or syrups, they stop acting like a balanced snack and behave more like candy. Spikes in added sugar drive insulin and promote low-grade inflammation. Over time, that inflammation tends to worsen metabolic health and abdominal weight, 2 factors consistently linked with more severe BPH symptoms. Many products marketed as honey roasted can carry sugar loads similar to a candy bar when you consider a few generous handfuls. Natural sweeteners like honey or maple syrup
the
are
source,
still sugar to
keep
your
the
body.
snack.
If you want a sweet note without the inflammation hit, pair a portion of plain nuts with a small serving of fresh berries or a few apple slices. That way you get fiber, polyphenols, and a slower glucose response. Pitfall number 3 is the deluxe mixed nut blend roasted in vegetable oil. Turn the can around and read the fine print. Soybean, cottonseed, palm, or peanut oil, often used at high heat, plus salt and sometimes preservatives. High-temperature oil roasting can create oxidation products and off flavors that the body does not love, and the added sodium repeats the same bladder irritation problem. The nuts themselves, almonds, pecans, cashews, aren't the issue, it's what's layered onto them. If you enjoy a mix, build your own with raw or dry roasted, unsalted components. A practical blend might include walnuts and almonds for healthy fats and vitamin E, pumpkin seeds for zinc and phytosterols, and 1 or 2 Brazil nuts for selenium. Store the mix in a clear jar so you can see portions and avoid grazing. Pitfall number 4 is not a villainous nut, but a portion problem. Cashews. They're creamy, versatile, and easy to overeat because they feel light. But cashews are calorie-dense. A couple of generous handfuls can add several hundred calories without much satiety, promoting weight gain over time. Extra abdominal fat worsens pressures on the bladder and can amplify inflammatory signaling around the prostate. Cashews also contain oxalates, and while that's usually not an issue in moderation, men with a history of calcium oxalate kidney stones should be cautious. You don't have to ban cashews, treat them like a flavorful accent. 8 to 10 cashews, about an ounce, is a sensible serving. If you're using them in stir-fries or dairy-free sauces, portion the recipe so you're not unconsciously doubling or tripling your intake. Now the encouraging part. 4 options that align well with prostate support when eaten in the right amounts and in their simplest form. First, walnuts. Among commonly available nuts, walnuts are notable for their alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fat that supports an anti-inflammatory dietary pattern. They also provide vitamin E and polyphenols, which help protect cells from oxidative stress. That matters because the prostate sits at the intersection of hormonal signals, local inflammatory pathways, and oxidative metabolism. A small daily dose of walnuts can fit into weight-conscious eating and help with satiety. A practical target is around 7 walnut halves per day, which is roughly 1 ounce. Sprinkle them into morning oatmeal, fold them into a salad with leafy greens and tomatoes, or use them as the crunch on steamed vegetables. Skip candied versions and avoid heavy salting. The benefit lies in the nut, not the coating. Second, almonds. Almonds contribute vitamin E, magnesium, and fiber. Vitamin E functions as a fat-soluble antioxidant in cell membranes. Magnesium plays a role in smooth muscle function, including the muscles of the bladder and pelvic floor, areas that affect how urgently you feel the need to void and how effectively the bladder empties. Fiber moderates post-meal glucose excursions, and better glucose control is relevant because men with insulin resistance or diabetes often report more bothersome urinary symptoms. For portions, aim for 20 to 23 almonds, again, about an ounce. Slice them over Greek yogurt, toss them into a vegetable-heavy grain bowl, or keep a pre-portioned bag in your briefcase so you aren't tempted by vending machine snacks. As with walnuts, plain or dry roasted and unsalted is the right default. Third, pumpkin seeds, also known as pepitas. Generations of traditional medicine pointed to pumpkin seed preparations for urinary comfort, and modern research has explored why. Pumpkin seeds contain zinc, a mineral concentrated in prostate tissue, and phytosterols, plant compounds that can help modulate local inflammatory signaling and support more comfortable urine flow. Some studies of pumpkin seed oil have shown improvements in score-based urinary symptoms. Whole seeds bring along fiber and magnesium as well. A simple dose is about 2 tablespoons per day. Sprinkle them on salads, blend a spoonful into a smoothie, or enjoy them as a light evening snack if you tend to wake at night. Just keep them unsalted to avoid the Nocturia trigger. If you take a zinc-containing supplement, discuss total intake with your clinician to avoid excessive dosing. Fourth, Brazil nuts, the most powerful example of less is more.
Low sodium.
Brazil nuts are naturally high in selenium, a trace mineral involved in antioxidant enzyme systems. In appropriate amounts, selenium supports cellular defenses, but the window is narrow. Too much can cause problems, such as gastrointestinal upset or, with chronic excess, selenosis. For that reason, think of Brazil nuts as a food-based supplement, not a snack to graze on. 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day is sufficient for most adults and typically reaches or even exceeds daily selenium needs. Chop a single nut into oatmeal, yogurt, or a salad so the small portion feels more substantial. If you already take a multivitamin with selenium, Review the combined totals with your healthcare provider. How do you put this together into a day that supports your goals without feeling restricted? Start by defining a total daily nut and seed allowance that fits your calorie needs, often about 1 to 2 ounces total for men watching weight. Then choose from the supportive list, keeping preparation simple and salt-free. If you like variety, rotate options through the week. Walnuts on Monday and Thursday, almonds on Tuesday and Friday, pumpkin seeds on Wednesday and Saturday, and 1 Brazil nut each morning with breakfast. If you prefer routines, stick with 1 or 2 favorites and prep portions in advance to prevent mindless eating. Because nuts are energy-dense, it's wise to pair them with fiber-rich foods and hydration. A morning example might be steel-cut oats topped with sliced almonds and blueberries. Lunch could be a large salad built on dark leafy greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, a lean protein like grilled salmon or chicken, and a sprinkle of walnuts. In the afternoon, have a measured snack cup with 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds along with a piece of fruit. With dinner, keep cashews small, 8 or so in a vegetable stir-fry, and skip extra salty sauces. Before bed, prioritize non-irritating fluids. If you notice that certain beverages, especially alcohol, caffeinated drinks late in the day, or artificially sweetened sodas, worsen nighttime urgency, shift them earlier or reduce them. Shopping and label literacy make this much easier. When buying nuts, look for raw or dry roasted and unsalted on the front of the package. Flip it over and check the ingredient list. The best list is one word: the nut itself. If you see added oils, added sugars, maltodextrin, syrups, or a long list of seasonings, put that product back. If convenience is important, buy large bags and portion them into small containers as soon as you get home. Visual cues help. Clear containers or snack-sized bags pre-filled with about 1 ounce prevent mindless refill behavior. There are a few important caveats. If you're on a sodium-restricted diet for heart or kidney disease, even modest amounts of salted nuts may push you over daily limits. Choose unsalted across the board. If you take anticoagulants, remember that nuts, particularly when eaten in large amounts, can alter vitamin K intake and overall fat composition. Keep your diet steady and discuss any big changes with your clinician. If you've had kidney stones, particularly calcium oxalate stones, moderate high oxalate nuts like cashews and peanuts, and balance your diet with adequate calcium from foods to help bind oxalate in the gut. Your provider or dietitian can tailor this. And of course, if you have a nut allergy, do not introduce new nuts without medical guidance. It's also worth placing nuts in the bigger picture. BPH symptoms are influenced by more than snacks. Overall body weight, physical activity, pelvic floor tone, timing of fluids, caffeine and alcohol intake, constipation, and certain medications all play a role. You'll often get the best results when you adjust several small levers at once. Aim for a diet anchored in vegetables, legumes, whole grains, fruits, fish, and unsalted nuts and seeds, the broad outline of a Mediterranean-style pattern. Prioritize strength training and walking most days of the week. Stop fluids 2 to 3 hours before bed if nocturia is a problem, and speak with your clinician about timing of any diuretic medications. If you strain with bowel movements, meet your fiber and hydration targets. A full rectum can aggravate urinary urgency by pressing on the bladder. Let's tighten this into a practical summary. The 4 avoid or limit categories are heavily salted nuts of any type, candied or honey roasted nuts, mixed nuts roasted in cheap oils with added salt, and oversized servings of cashews.
Avoid rancid smell.
The 4 used daily options are walnuts for plant omega-3 and polyphenols, almonds for vitamin E, magnesium and fiber, pumpkin seeds for zinc and phytosterols, and 1 to 2 Brazil nuts for selenium. Always in moderation. Keep portions around 1 ounce for nuts and 2 tablespoons for seeds. Default to unsalted and dry roasted or raw. and pair them with high-fiber
If
foods.
we follow this timeline,
Build your
we
own
should hit
mix
the
at
Q3
home so you
targets
control
easily.
ingredients.
Yeah, that chart
If you
confirms
like
it.
checklists,
Solid.
here is a simple one you can remember.
Go ahead, it's the good stuff.
First,
Just
choose your
remember,
daily
next
nut or
time,
seed,
it's BYOP.
walnuts, almonds,
You did not just
pumpkin
say that.
seeds, or one Brazil nut. Second, measure. Place 1 ounce of nuts or 2 tablespoons of seeds into a small cup. Return the bag to the pantry before you start snacking. Third, pair with produce. Add a piece of fruit or a bowl of vegetables to keep you satisfied. Fourth,
UTI versus
watch the evening
BPH quick
window.
note.
Shift most
Consult for
fluids and
burning and
snacks
fever.
earlier in the day,
Diet helps
especially if
baseline,
nights are
not the
difficult.
infection.
Finally, track your response for 2 weeks. Notice changes in urgency, stream, and nighttime awakenings. Small, consistent adjustments often beat dramatic overhauls. Remember, no snack cures BPH, but smarter choices can reduce the background noise of inflammation and irritation that makes symptoms worse. By swapping salted or sweetened products for simple, unsalted nuts and seeds in sensible
Measure
portions,
1 ounce.
you give your
Pair
bladder
with
a calmer
produce.
environment,
Shift fluids
support healthier
earlier.
weight, and keep
Track
your
2
energy
weeks.
steadier throughout the day. If you're unsure how this fits with your medications or your medical history, bring this plan to your healthcare professional and personalize it. In many cases, the combination of smart diet, activity, and, when needed, evidence-based therapies offers the best relief. If this overview helped you, share it with someone else who's getting up too often at night or feeling frustrated by frequent trips during the day. Simple changes are easier when you have a clear plan. And if you want a quick one-page reminder,
The best
write
time
down
to
the
eat
4
nuts.
pitfalls to limit and the 4 daily allies to prioritize, along with the serving sizes. Put that note on your pantry door. The next time you reach for a handful of nuts, you'll have the confidence that what you're choosing supports better sleep, steadier days, and a healthier future.